Hi, I'm Sarah Ashlee Barker, and you're watching Average Joe Sports Talk.
Perfect.
All right, so we are here in Spain Park High School in the weight room with Sarah Ashlee Barker. Sarah Ashlee, talk to us about what your life has been like growing up here in Hoover, Alabama.
You know, I actually lived in Chelsea till about I was in first grade. Then I moved to Oak Mountain, and I was there second, third grade. So I got to Hoover, Alabama about fourth grade, I would say, and just the community that it brings, and everyone, you know, is all together, and you know, I've built like great friendships, and this is just kind of like, it's my second home. And you know, the basketball program here is a huge success, and just being able to be in a city that, you know, you're proud to say, like, I live in Hoover, and that's just like one of those things that you want to be able to say, and I can proudly say that.
Absolutely. Now, for those who don't know you, could you tell everyone who your parents are?
So my mom is Amy Best, and then my dad is Jay Barker, and he played football at Alabama, and most people probably know he won the 1992 national championship. And then my mom just went to Alabama just for school.
Absolutely. Mr. Jay Barker. So in your words, and you're a basketball star now, what do you think you love most about the game of basketball specifically?
I would probably say like kind of like the toughness and grittiness you kind of have to play basketball. You can't go out and be soft, and just kind of like how Coach Chase said, like, you know, I can get dressed up and go wear a dress and go to a dance, and then someone would look at me and be like, that girl can't play basketball, like, and then I can go out and prove everybody wrong. And just like the family part that just comes along with it, like, you know, these are girls that I'm going to be able to look down the road and be able to call my sisters, and if I have something going on, I can reach out to them. And it's just like, you're thankful that God has placed you in such a great program with a coach and all that kind of stuff. So,
you know, you mentioned God. How much does your faith play into your playing sports and overall well-being?
Right. Faith is, you know, my number one thing in life. I would not be where I am without Christ, and you know, Jesus, he's my Lord and Savior. I mean, that's all I can say, and he's gotten me to where I am. And you know, I had 2 knee surgeries when I was in 8th grade. You know, the doctor looked at me and didn't know if I would be able to compete at the at the level that I am now, and that kind of stuff. And you know, it was like my second surgery. It was a 90%, you know, successful rate. It worked, but just knowing that, like, you know, God put me in that situation, and I had no reason. I didn't know why. And you just got to trust in Him, and just know that, you know, now I do know why. He has made me to the type of person that I am today. I would not be the basketball player, the person, or like even like sister or brother. I mean, you know what I mean, like with my brothers and
Absolutely.
stuff like that. Like, you know, everything that has been in my life is because of Christ.
And you know, you talked about those injuries. Was it? I know at the time it had to be very discouraging.
Yes, sir.
And when you look back now, and you said you know why that happened.
Right.
How much further along do you think it's helped you in your career to know that you can overcome something that you probably at one time when it happened thought?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just
it.
because, you know, once you get over that hump, like, wow, I really did it. Like when I you know, started getting D1 offers and that kind of stuff, is kind of like, you know, pushing through the adversity and that kind of stuff. Like, it makes you be able to push through anything that you do in life. And I think that's one of the most, you know, things that I've learned, is just that, you know, you can do anything, and you can go against anything that the world, you know, hits you with.
And it happened early in your career as well, and you've actually had a lot of success here early in your career. Coach mentioned earlier you were part of the state championship team as a freshman. What was that like? And I know when we're young, we always have this envision like, this is probably easy, and we're going to do this every year.
Right.
But how have you battled complacency, one, thinking that it's just going to be handed to you, and then how did you handle that success that early in your career?
I think my knee surgery helped me with that, just because like the recovery part of it was not just handed to me. You have to work for everything that you have to work to get back to full speed or stronger than you were. And I think that my freshman year when we went to the state championship, like I had to overcome, you know, my body was, I mean, my mind was a lot faster than my body, because I was out my whole 8th grade year. So you have to overcome, like, you know, like I'm not going to be playing as good as I was a year before I had my knee surgery. Like, I had to catch up to that. And I think just, you know, working throughout that year and then make it to the state championship my freshman year, like, you know, you learn everything each game and that kind of stuff. And I think that just knowing, like, from going from my freshman year to my sophomore year, that we put in the work after we lost that state championship my freshman year, and then you got the victory. And then, but then you see, after my 10th grade year, we got beat in the Elite Eight, and I would say we kind of slacked off a little bit in the off season coming up my junior year and that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like when you're on top, you still got to work as hard and that kind of stuff. And it's not that we weren't working hard, but we didn't have that mindset of, you know, we just lost the state championship, we just won it. And I think that's what we're trying to, you know, build in this program, is to stay on top. You gotta have that mindset, and you gotta have that chip on your shoulder, no matter what you did last year and that kind of stuff.
What did you take away from those seniors on that team that won the state that year that stuck with you and kind of ingrained in you at this point?
So Claire Holt, she was obviously the best player on that team and one of the best players that's ever come out of Spain Park. You know, she was the one that I would say probably got me into the gym and stuff like that. Like, me watching her work in the gym, like, she would be up here late at night, you know, she'd go home, do her homework, come back, shoot. She'd get like 1,000 shots up. Wow. Like I mean, it was insane. And just like, she motivated me to want to be better than her, just because of how good she was. I was like, I want that. I want to work as hard as she does. And then Barrett Herring, she was the leadership part of what I wanted. And not saying that Claire wasn't a good leader, but they had two different leadership roles and that kind of stuff. And Barrett, when she was a freshman, she probably couldn't even make a layup. I mean, like, she worked her butt off and now she's playing D1 basketball.
That's amazing.
And you know, it's just crazy to see how just the work that they both put in and that kind of stuff, and then how much love they had for everyone on the team and the leadership, and knowing that they built this program to have a family atmosphere and that kind of stuff. So
I've heard it from you, I've heard it from Coach and Coach's daughter. I keep hearing the word love, team, and mafia. I made that one up. I threw that one in there, family.
Right.
Put into words what that means to you to be part of a program where that's not something that is taken lightly.
Right.
It's actually part of this program.
Right.
You've got to get involved with it, or you're probably not going to be a part of this program.
Right. You know, everyone on our team you want to have a bond with, have chemistry and that kind of stuff. And I think that, I mean, you spend a ton of time with each other. That's team bonding, that's practice, that's we practice in the morning, so we shower here, we get ready here every morning. And it's like you're around these group of girls that, like, if you butt heads, you're not going to have a good chemistry team and stuff like that. So family is just so important, the love for each other. And, you know, Coach Chase, like, people, I mean, I've heard people, like, in the stands, like, stop yelling at them, like this and that and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, you know, you don't really have a place to say stop yelling at them because you don't know the behind the scenes. and he wants what's best. He just wants what's best for us. And that's, you know, if he's yelling at us, he's not yelling at us because we're doing something right. He's yelling at us because we got to fix something. It's our own fault. And I think just like having a coach that puts so much commitment into each and every player, and just the whole team itself, like, you know, it all starts with him. Like, if he doesn't buy into the program like everyone else is, like, and that's why we have such a great program, is because of how great of a coach he is and his commitment and sacrifice that he has. And just like his daughter is a player on this team, and, you know, he could go out and say, you know, I want to spend time with my family, I want to do this and that, but he would come up and he would open up the door for me to shoot and that kind of stuff. If he was at home watching TV with his daughter, like, that just shows like what type of coach he is and how much he cares for each and every one of us.
Speaking of Coach Chase, what is it like playing for him, for a guy that's not going to let you just accept being average? And
Right.
and also, what's the hardest part about being a part of a program like this?
You know, he definitely expects more from everyone every day. And me being the leader, if I come in and I'm not having a good day, you know, that means practice is not going to be good. And so it's on me. And him putting the responsibility and trusting in me that I got to turn things around and this and that. And then just like not accepting, like, he doesn't accept bad behavior. He doesn't accept just because I'm going to play basketball for University of Georgia that I can just come in and just be a jerk to people or do this or that. Like, he treats me just like he treats everybody else on the team. And I think that shows a lot of respect for him. And honestly, it makes me feel better just knowing that, like, just because I am one of the best players doesn't mean you just get everything handed to you. And I think that goes a long way with me going into college and that kind of stuff, just because, you know, some coaches may favor the best player and may do this, but, you know, he's not like that.
What would you say the most satisfying thing is being a part of this program?
Probably just, you know, my brothers and everybody have grown up, you know, coming to Spain Park and that kind of stuff, and just being able to just put on a jersey and know that, like, each and every night you love to put on that Spain Park jersey. You are proud to put on a jersey that you would go out and lay your body out on the line each and every play, just to be able to, you know, go on and win a state championship and that kind of stuff.
So obviously the name to you on the front means more than the name on the back of the jersey.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, that's awesome. And Coach has referred to you as the best player he's ever seen, not just coached. What does that mean to you personally, knowing that your hard work's being noticed by somebody you admire so much?
Yeah, it means a lot. Just because, you know, he's always told me, like, you can be the best player, you can be the best leader. You know, and now that he's at the point where he's saying, like, you know, you have become the best leader and you have become the best player that I've ever seen, it's just kind of like a surreal feeling, as in, like, I feel like that I've kind of met to his expectation of what I could be and that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, he knows you got to keep working. You're not done, like that kind of stuff. So,
who's the best player you've ever played against?
Let's see. I played against a lot of great players. You know, my freshman year, I played against Ebony Williams. She's at Chattanooga right now. She was a player that just played so hard. You know, she was gonna give everything for that team. And then Asia Wayne, I had to guard both of those players my freshman and sophomore year. And every night going into those two games, if you didn't box out one time, they're getting an offensive rebound and they're putting it back, and that's on you. And so you have to kind of, and I think I've taken away from them too how hard they play, just because, you know, when you scout teams, you look at how hard people play. And those two players come up first player that we mention in a game if we're going to play them and that kind of stuff. And then Zippy, I don't know her last name, Broughton? Zippy. Yeah, Zippy. She played at Lee Huntsville, and she's at she played at Robert E. Lee? Yeah. Oh my gosh, she played at Robert E. Lee. Anyway, she's at Rutgers right now. And I played her my sophomore year in the Final Four. And I mean, that girl was hitting shots from deep.
As soon as she walked in the gym.
I mean, she was like the announcer. He went up to her before the game. He was like, "Hey, what's your name?" She's like, "Zipporah," but I go by Zippy. and he was like, you know, you got to earn to be called Zippy, like just mess with her, that kind of stuff. He called her Zippy the second play of the game because that's just one of those stories that
He changed that real quick.
Yes.
Coach mentioned earlier you was thinking about getting into coaching one day. What is it, do you think, that's kind of led you to want to be a coach yourself?
I think just the impact that, you know, he's had on everybody in this program, and then the coach at Georgia, kind of the impact that she's had on me and that kind of stuff during the recruiting process, and just I don't want to get away from the game because it's something that I love doing. It's not something that I'm like I have to do. It's something that it's just like what he said. Like when I'm a coach, it's not a job to me. It's something that I want to do and I love and I want to pursue and that kind of stuff. And I just think that, you know, staying in the sports world is who I am. I've grown up sports, my dad, you know, that kind of stuff, and it's just like that's what I want to do with my life.
Makes a lot of sense. We've actually heard a lot of coaches refer to it as not really wanting to grow up. They want to stay around the game through connecting with other people. Now, you're being a senior here, and we're in the area tournament and winding the season down.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you? And have you thought about, you know, here in just a couple of weeks, like this is all going to be over with at this point of my career? You know, with these girls I grew up with and mean so much to me, and I'll be moving on to play. Has that come to you yet? That's
you know, reality? I think the first time it hit me was on senior night last Friday. Just knowing that, you know, all of it's kind. You know, I have a month left in my season. Hopefully, you know, we keep winning, that kind of stuff, and just. But I think it's just I'm trying to live in the moment right now. I don't want to look ahead on, you know, I'm not going to be playing with these girls in a month or this or that. Like I want to spend as much time as I can with them, and I want to keep winning and keep fighting for them and try and win a state championship. And I think that's just what's in the back of my head right now is just, you know, what can I do to help the team and what can I do to keep my legacy going right now.
You guys have a realistic shot at doing that this year.
Yes, sir.
Now, you mentioned, you know, you're going to Georgia and you've been heavily recruited. And we love to hear players and different opinions on this.
Right.
Has the whole recruiting process been a headache for you, or do you find it an honor that people have noticed your hard work paying off?
Yeah, it was an honor, but I'm not going to lie and tell you that it wasn't. I mean, that it was easy because, you know, there were times where I'd go home and I'd have homework, and you know, I'd be having to call 4 coaches a night, and you know, every day was a call.
That had to be frustrating.
And you know, sometimes it was like overwhelming at times, but then at the same time, I look at it as it's a blessing from God, and that, you know, most kids don't get to be and go play college basketball for a D1 school, and you just have to, you know, thank God that He's put you in this situation, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, I would, you know, it's like I said, not many people get to be on the phone with a college coach. I mean, that's kind of what
really cool.
It's surreal. Yeah, it's awesome.
What was it about Georgia specifically that stuck out to you?
You know, every time I was there, it was a home feeling. You know, the coaches are amazing. When you look at, you know, some people are like, you don't want to go to a school just because of the coaches, this and that. But I mean, if you go to a school and you don't like the coaches, you're not going to enjoy it there. You know what I mean? And so, you know, the campus is just beautiful. It's nothing. I mean, it's just special. And I think that, you know, the head coach there, Coach Joni Taylor, we connected because she played at the University of Alabama basketball, and so we kind of had that Alabama tie and that kind of stuff with each other, and you know,
that had to help, didn't it?
It did for sure, and just kind of that relationship built, and I just could tell each and every time I was on the phone with her, it was like our relationship was building way more than the other coaches, and it wasn't because the other coaches were not good coaches. It was just that's how it was with me and her, and I think that her and I have a more of a personal relationship than any other coach that I was recruited by, and that was the most important thing to me was personal relationship. And she made it clear that she got to know me as a person before she even offered me a scholarship. She was like, I could offer you off of talent, but I don't know you, and that was I would probably say that was the whole call of that's who I want to play for. You know what I mean?
She wanted to know you.
Yes.
For you.
Yes.
That's really, really good. Have you got to meet Uga yet?
I have not.
What? That should be a requirement.
So like I haven't been like up to him, but like I've seen him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like a couple yards away and that kind of stuff when I was
That should be mandatory.
When I was on a visit, yeah. when I was on a visit, I think he was in his little UGA.
UGA mansion.
His little UGA house. Yep.
So, do you want to play in the NBA one day?
I do
WNBA?
I do want to play in the WNBA.
What do you think, like kind of self-evaluating, you're going to be a coach one
Mm-hmm.
day. What do you think you need to work on most to make that dream a reality?
I'd probably say, you're not perfect. I can always get better in being consistent and my three-point percentage and that kind of stuff. And honestly, defense, I probably need to, work on staying in front of people better and that kind of stuff. And just having a all-complete, all-around, type of game and that kind of stuff with, like, the type of player I am and that kind of stuff, where you can't just be an offensive player and you can't just be a defensive player. You got to be both ways. And I think if I can, get both ways down to be equal to each other, I think that it can go a long way.
As the women's game's developed, and we talk about this a lot, who are 4 ladies?
Oh, God.
Could be any sport.
Okay.
If you had to make a Mount Rushmore of women's athletes, who would be on that Mount Rushmore?
Skylar Diggins.
Could be any sport. So, it could be just basketball.
Okay, let's see, I'm trying to think about Serena Williams. She's an amazing tennis player. And then what's that 15-year-old girl? What's her name? Coco. I think that is one of the...
That is amazing.
Just seeing a 15-year-old, I'm 18 years old, and she's competing against, like grown women and who have, won,
several.
Yeah. It's just, unbelievable. So, yeah.
I know just women's sports in general has changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
We like to ask that sometimes. All right, so now we're going to get to know you on a little bit of a personal level here. What is your favorite hobby outside of sports? What is this, an announcement?
Freeman, please to the front desk.
All right, so getting to know you on a more personal level, what is your favorite hobby away from sports?
I'd probably say family and friends are really important to me. And I think that, spending that quality family time with my brothers and my mom and my dad and just being with my family, and then also being with my friends. Like, my mom always told me, you're 18 years old, you need to be a kid. Like, you're still a kid. Like, just because, you're getting recruited and all this kind of stuff, and you may be more experienced with other things in life than other people, like, you're still 18 years old. You need to enjoy life. Like, you need to work on your basketball stuff, you need to do this, but come one day and go to the pool and just like
eat some barbecue.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show ever?
Probably Grey's Anatomy.
Favorite sports movie?
Facing the Giants, without a doubt. Yep.
Favorite vacation spot?
The beach.
What's playing in your headphones before a game?
Okay, so y'all probably gonna laugh, but so I love country music, and even though country music doesn't really pump me up, but like when I go get treatment and stuff like that, like I listen to country, and then
like old country or like this newer country?
It kind of depends. Like, I'll probably say newer country. Like I like Russell Dickerson a lot. I like Sam Smith. Sam Hunt. Wait,
what about Eric Church? Is that his name?
Eric Church. I'm okay. Eric Church is okay.
It's one my wife listens to.
But just honestly, any type of country music.
Country music.
But I'd probably say when we're in the locker room and that kind of stuff, one of my other teammates, she kind of controls the aux and that kind of stuff, so she pumps us up a little bit. But,
you pretty much don't have any choice.
Right. But I would not pump up to country music, so like I'm thankful that she is playing that pump up music. So
we've actually had a player before say, listen, was it like Mozart or something like that?
Really?
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's unique. Last time you cried at a sporting event?
Last time I cried? Probably senior night.
That's recently, yeah.
It was. So it was an emotional night. I've never beaten Hoover in my career, and I beat Hoover last Friday. And I think, just walking on the court with my mom and dad, and then it kind of all hit me as, what this program means to me and that kind of stuff. And it's not all the success that I've had in this program. I think it's more of the relationships that have been built. I think that's what I'm gonna walk away with the most. So,
favorite memory from Spain Park so far?
As in like sports or
Just in general.
favorite memory?
Is that the announcement?
Playing powder puff football. So we're
Powder
not
puff football?
We're not allowed to.
But you did
So
anyways.
I did my senior year this year. So
Coach know this, or is
he
this first time?
he knows. He knows. He knows. So my two brothers, quarterbacks here at Spay Park. My dad was a quarterback. Obviously, like I can throw a football, and so we went out and I put my name down for the team and that kind of stuff, and I didn't say anything to him because like I already knew like he was just
Nope.
yeah. But my whole plan was I'll just go out there, I'll just throw it around, like I won't really run that much and that kind of stuff. But I think just like having
The competitor in you
right
took over then, correct?
I think just having like my brothers I kind of wanted to be in their spot for one point and be a quarterback a little bit, and so I think that was just kind of like a funny moment. So.
All right. What's your favorite subject in school?
I'd probably say history. I like learning about like the, what all was gone on in our world and that kind of stuff, and the history towards it and that kind of stuff.
Dream car. What would
A
that be?
blacked out Range Rover for sure. Yes.
WNBA money, you can get that.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite place to shop?
Lululemon.
These are either or questions here.
Okay.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Pizza or hamburger?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger over anything. Snow day or day at the beach?
Day at the beach.
Ford or Chevy?
Chevy.
A horror movie or comedy movie?
Comedy. I can't stand horror movies.
Push-ups or sit-ups when working out?
Definitely sit-ups.
All right. Long run or wind sprints?
Wind sprints.
Chick-fil-A sandwich or Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Chick-fil-A.
Golf or tennis?
Tennis.
All right. So what's it going to take for you guys to win the state this year?
I think just, we just beat Hoover on Friday. They're the best team in the state, without a doubt. And I think taking what we did Friday and saying, just because we beat the best team in the state doesn't mean that you're going to automatically go and be in the state championship. You got to take that win and know that, a championship team is not based off of one win throughout the season. It's based off of who shows up that day. And you got to show up each and every day ready for practice, no matter the team that you play. Say that we play a team that we think we can beat in the regionals, you can't go into it thinking you're going to win. You got to go into it knowing that, you could go home today, and just the effort that everybody has to put into it.
What's a promise you're going to give this team and coach to make that dream a reality?
I think, I promise that I'm going to give my all, and I'm going to put, I will put everything out to win a state championship. And, if that's me diving on the floor and hitting my head on the ground, then that's what it's going to take. Yep. So.
20 years from now, where will we find you living, and what career will you be in after the WNBA? Unless you're Tom Brady and you just keep playing.
Right. I'd probably say I don't know where I'm going to live yet because, I'm going to go to Georgia. We'll see how that is. And then who knows where I'll be at the WNBA, that kind of stuff. I would love to come back to Alabama and have a family, have kids, and be a coach and that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, I want to be a college coach. So it just kind of depends on where I fall at. But I do want to be a mom and have kids and that kind of stuff. So, yes, sir.
Well, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for sitting in with us.
Thank you.